What's going on, everyone, guys? How are you doing today? It's Angry Roleplay, and I want to show you my build that I created for 3.0. This is damage over time build with a Saboteur. You know, Saboteur is a trap and mine specialist, and I wanted to play Trapper Miner in the Legacy, but eventually I kind of settled up on the Necromancer, the Summoner, because I absolutely wanted to play the Summoner. And Trapper Miner seemed like a very, problematic build to play in Soul Found, and I really knew nothing about the Trapper Miner, so I settled up on the Summoner, and I had a huge success and ton of fun with the Legacy with the Summoner. But in 3.0 I want to play something really awkward, like really unpopular, maybe non-meta shit. The same that I will play on Diablo 3, I will play the same in the Fall of the Oriev. You know, not because I'm some kind of a jerk that only wants to play something non-meta and be kind of in elite or something. No, I just like the idea of traps and mines, and this seems like a very unique gameplay for me. You know, with melee builds, it's all absolutely straightforward. You attack and you do damage, kill shit. With spells, it's all the same, absolutely. You cast a spell, do damage, and the enemies fucking die. With traps and mines, it's a whole fucking different story. Traps, there's different kind of traps. They need to be, you throw traps. When the enemy walks nearby, it kind of triggers the traps and all this shit. The mines is a whole fucking different story. It needs to be detonated, and they have life as well. Mines and traps can be destroyed as well. There's special passive that let them they allow them to be invincible for 5 seconds. So it's very complex gameplay, not very fast at all, but it's pretty interesting, and it's what I want to try, especially with all the changes for damage over time coming in the upcoming patch. I really want to try the damage over time build, and Fire Trap and Fine Over Mine give me one of the most interesting experience out there, and also the Ice Trap, the Arc Mines. There are plenty of ways to play mines and traps. And I have two setups here. Here is the crit version of the miner. As far as I could figure, mines works best with the crit multipliers, and here are some crit version of the miner that I set up. It also has plenty of damage over time with the Decay gem. I know the Decay will be nerfed heavily by 50%. Right now is just, as you can see, this just the Fire Over Mine with like here, for example, this is Fire Over Mine with trap and mine damage, Decay, void manipulation, and efficacy. Efficacy is also incredible gem to scale mine damage. So this is it. And the Decay DPS here is pretty impressive. It's much more than the average hit of the mine itself. It's 25k. And the items that I have, they're just Epi's Rage and the Winds of Change Gauntlet, so it's like nothing, absolutely. It's basically no gear, just the skills themselves without multipliers, just 20 level gems that you see here. And the calculations are pretty interesting. The mine is not very strong, but the Decay DPS is pretty insane. It will be nerfed by 50%, and from 25,000 it will go to around 13,000, but still I'm really curious how it will work out in the maps and all that shit. That's pretty interesting to see. The basic idea with this miner build was to stack as much damage over time as possible. That's why we're stacking chaos damage like crazy for the Decay support. We go here, we go here, we go everywhere. We go here, we get the atrophy, we get the entropy, we get the method of madness. Stack as much chaos as possible, all damage over time as well. See, will take all damage over time. Here, growth and decay as well. So maybe some jewels here, and maybe here some jewels can be taken, but you know, it's very limited. I almost filled all the skill points here, so might be getting rid of some crit here. Another thing that I'm not very happy with is I'm not entirely sure if I should go crit or non-crit on this. I mean, if I stack just damage over time, damage over time does not is not affected by crit multipliers. It's only the mine hits. When it hits, it affects the damage multiplier with critical and critical HS multiplier. But the damage over time is completely not affected by crit. And it will all depend on how strong the damage over time with mines will be itself on its own without the crits. If I could remove all the crits here, I will have tremendous amount of free skill points which I can invest in something else and just do 100% damage over time build. But if damage over time will be nerfed, the decay will be heavy enough, it will not be a very good source of damage. That's why I will have to switch from damage over time to 100% crit build here and be some kind of generic miner, I guess. Now here is also the trapper build. I've set up two builds here, and as you can see, the trapper is obviously very different. The trapper decay damage is more than twice lower, but it has ignite, it has damage over time with ignite, and the average hit is much higher than with the mines. So mines is more about critting pretty much, but trapping is a whole different story. Traps is the ignites, the decay, and the hits. The initial hits of traps are they hit much harder than the mines, and they're also traps are much easier to play in general than the mines. Mines you need to detonate them manually. Trap you just drop it in the mobs and it's fucking just triggers almost immediately. That's why traps are much more easy, and they do faster damage. It just do instant damage pretty much. It's just instant damage. Why? With the mines you need to detonate, you need to set up, and then it goes boom and the screen explodes. It's also different nodes here. Like for example, there are just nodes here expedition munitions, which is just dedicated to trap damage and not to mine damage. And it's also here is also trap damage. So trap and mine setup must be completely different, and it's pretty hard to decide whether you're going to be a trapper or a miner because you don't really know what's the difference between these two. So right now I'm testing the Saboteur on the 4th beta, and this is it. I would also like to thank a few people, of course, my supporters. I would also like to thank a few very important guys who supported me several days ago and keep supporting me on stream. First of all, Matthew Hutchins, my friend, thank you very much for your support. Matthew is the new Horrifying Elite Patron Lieutenant on Patreon. So that's crazy, the Patreon army is growing like crazy. Leon, thank you very much, my friend, for your stream tip support and for being the patron for so long. Thank you very much, my friend. Maps, thank you for your donation very much, my friend. Absolutely appreciate it as well. And Jisa Kiri is the new Patreon supporter as well. So Kiri, thank you very much for becoming the Patreon and the member of the Unholy Army of Rage. So thanks, guys. See you on stream soon.